going to give her a little brunch. And I don't know what to do because we haven't been out. But he reserved some place, it's going to be a little brunch. So I have all night to think about it. Because I haven't gone anywhere, mijita. I haven't been anywhere since March.
Okay.
People can't believe that, but because I belong to several little groups that, people get together for birthday bunch and all that. But, we stopped everything. We don't do anything. We just have the virtual happy hour and the virtual church group and all that with a Zoom, But so anyway, I didn't know he was going to do that. They want to come here for breakfast Sunday. That's her real birthday, which I thought that's what we were going to do. But anyway, let's see what happens. So how are you? How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was beautiful, and it was a whirlwind of events with the new regulations, but it went as smooth as it could have gone.
Oh my God! Where did y'all get together?
I went to 3 different Thanksgivings. Oh, oh my goodness. We did one at my grandfather Felipe Cabrera. We went. His house has been remodeled, so we had one Thanksgiving, the Cabrera Thanksgiving at his house in the remodeled area. We had a fire pit. It was really beautiful. We went to go visit his grave after dinner.
Oh, mijito. I got to see him. The year before because our granddaughter lived there for a little while at Sugar Land, and she's back in San Antonio. And so I went to see her, and Becky picked me up, and then I didn't know she had Yolanda and Tenchita. So then, what do you want to do, Tia? I said, I want to go see Meme and Bebe. So we did. We called Felipe Bebe. That's how I know him. Anyway, continue. And then where you went?
And then I went to my maternal grandparents, my aunt, that family, the Espinosas. We went to their, one of my aunts has an estate in Humble, and she has a lake in her backyard. So we went from getting catering at, the Cabrera family, we always have catering, so we had that, and then we had a home-cooked meal at the estate. And so that was really nice, and the table setting was beautiful, and my aunt was really happy because mi tia, she was so sad because her other family were completely against seeing each other for the COVID reasons, which we respect. But she was so happy that, I'm one of her oldest nieces, and they were not expecting me to take part. And so I was happy that my presence was something to look forward to.
That was nice. And that's very nice. Oh, my gosh.
Yes, I know. I saw the pictures you sent me of the twins. I love the twins.
And they're 5. How old is your daughter?
Mine, she's 4. I want them to be friends.
I know. I was telling them. Oh, they say we have a cousin. Yeah, they're so funny. I taught them a little song, and I surprised the, because it was just us and and then was the our son-in-law's mother and brother, and that's it. The rest of the family was just us, And Sam cleared the garage, and so we had it outside, and it was beautiful. And so we, fixed tables and I decorated them and they didn't expect that. They thought it was just going to be like that. I said, oh no. So I taught them a little song, for Thanksgiving to God and the family. And they memorized it in one day. And it was so funny, And then because our grandson, he speaks real nice, and so Sam asked him, "You do?" Yes, Grampy, because they call my husband Grampy. I don't know. The oldest one, the mother of the twins, started with that, and it stayed. And she started calling me Granny, so that's what I am, Granny. To all their friends and everybody, they don't. Hi, Granny, everywhere they go, Anyway, and so he did the prayer, and then I motioned to the twins, and because they were looking at me, I said, "Keep looking at me." After the prayer, would surprise the heck out of them, And I said, okay. So they were just looking at me, and so I nodded, So they stood up and they started singing together.
What was the song?
Everybody And then I said, and add one word, um, and God, thank you for my family, but make it real slow and real, the teacher in me came out again, and then just finish it. Oh my God, they were just like speechless. And Rena said, they didn't say a word. I said, I told them not to say anything, that it was going to be a surprise. So I know they can keep a secret.
Oh,
I know. They were just really, really, really. So it was nice. Like I said, it was late though, because like I told you, they ate first at his in-laws. I mean, his parents, and then I said, that's okay, no problem, And they still didn't leave. They were here till about 11. So, we were exhausted. We didn't get up until 10:30.
Oh, we have left
today. I know. I mean, but we were exhausted. Y vaya que they help, pick up things and all that. And this time I did serve paper plates. I always give them glass and all that. Not this time. I said, no, we're gonna eat outside. Forget it if you drop my glasses in my face and everything. And Tim said, you're going to serve in that? You bet I am. And they said, Mom, we've been telling you. Because, yeah, that's fregadas. They didn't have to wash dishes, So, qué huercos. But anyway, it was nice. And then tomorrow, but our grandson leaves tomorrow.
Oh, no.
After the little brunch, because, he said he has to get back and get his head in order again. Mm-hmm. Because he's been out for a week.
Oh,
and, yeah, he says, no, I start Monday, and I just have to regroup, and I'm pretty sure. Besides, I heard that the weather was going to be bad tomorrow, that way, Galveston. So I told him, well, that's good, just go despacito, instead like everybody going home on Sunday.
Yes.
And so I said, no, you better go on. So anyway, so I have to get up early in the morning because he wants banana bread and oatmeal cookies. I said, well, okay, because we don't get together until about 11:30. If we go, I don't know. I might just, I don't know. I just feel funny going. We haven't been to a restaurant.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is very unusual for us. Very, very unusual. I've gotten used to it. But yeah, it's a good thing my husband and I get along together. Otherwise, forget it. So we get friends. Married 56 years, mamita.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that.
56 years. 56 years.
How did y'all meet?
In college.
Oh, in college?
I was actually dating another boy.
Ooh,
I know. Isn't it something? And then here it was weird. But anyway, it was meant to be. It was meant to be. Oh, yes, at that you were, I was doing stuff in because I had to go get all the stuff. I didn't know they wanted to take back home, and I told Sam no, so he can go, because he's going to have a big final and a big two actually, because one is on the theory, the what is being taught, and then the other one is lab. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, okay, so I said no, so he can have something to munch on and all that, so. And then I said that, so then Rebecca said, well, I want some too, so. Yeah. Okay, because I'll do that. I was going to do tonight. I said, no, I'm kind of tired. I did a lot of running around, and not. I don't go. The only place I go is H-E-B, and once a month is Costco.
Oh, yeah.
And H-E-B because it's so close by, and it's a brand new store. It's very clean, and our son works there. He's fully employed. Mm-hmm. He's been there for 18 years, so he's vested. He has the health insurance, 401k, life insurance, and the main thing, the like I said, the health insurance that he has, it's just amazing what he's done, with his little life,
Yeah, and he's an essential worker. He has a guaranteed job.
He's an essential worker. Yeah, everything. I mean, it's just amazing, and they've been so good to them. Well, to everybody. And, the main thing, well, they all have him under their wings, I said he does not need love. All he needs is care, understanding, and respect. Mm-hmm. That's all. Just give him a chance. When he started way back, oh, yes, ma'am. I said no, because he's just, He's a productive member of society. He pays income tax and everything, And like I said, love he has at home, plenty. So just give him his space. That's all. And know that he's respected. I mean, never he's ready to go to work. Like I said, he just completed 18 years.
Yeah, you did such a good job with him. You did a great job.
No, and he does. And we have bought him a little ranch, and of course he's an avid bowler. He bowls for Special Olympics. Mm-hmm. So we would travel all over the U.S. However, this past year was the first one. It was supposed to be number 30.
Yes.
30th, and it was canceled. It was canceled totally. So he's just been devastated about that. But needless to say, and going back to my daddy used to refer to it as like a tobacco plantation. Yes. And it's because he took us over there, and I remember going a couple of times, and it's a whole block. It's a whole block. And the old-fashioned way of Mexico is that you have like a fort, all the houses around, the whole block, and then in the middle, the beautiful patio. You thought on the outside like it's nothing, but that's how they keep from people meddling with you or interrupting or anything like that. It's just wall, but inside they have the little buildings and all that. And from what my dad used to say, the train would stop and they would load the train. Now, he used to say about tobacco plantation, a factory, I guess they would make the cigars and just pack them and send them. Now, my dad was 8 years old, I think, when the guerrillistas, which were the Pancho Villa guerrillistas, which is the Zetas now in Mexico, they would come into your villages, into your homes, and if they wanted something, they would take it. And that's what happened to them in the middle of the night. So they escaped with their lives with just what they were wearing at night. And my grandfather, that very good-looking man that you see on that picture that they posted.
Yes, Apollonia, yes.
Yeah, yes, he escaped, but he tried to fight him. Mm-hmm. And he became blind because he was whipped, and it cut across his eyes, and they just dragged him, And they walked and walked. Mind you, he was very, very wealthy. So, I mean, they had way back to homeschool, they each had a nanny. And my daddy says, from eating in a little, almost a silver platter, to nothing, because they took away everything from them. What's really amazing is that, I must have been, I don't know how old I was. I was not married. I don't remember when it was that we went to see it the last time. Mm-hmm. And I remember they took us to a church, and they had, my daddy's, first they sent us to another place because they had taken it's being said was so long ago, the papers, and to find his, where he, how they register you for the baptism and all that. And then we came back, and there was still one lady, viejita, that used to work for my grandfather, and say they brought her over, so my dad, got to talk to her and all that. But they were asking him what was he gonna do about the place, and that he said what? Because remember, it was stolen from them. And I think after the guerrillistas and all that, I think the government or something gets it because there's nobody to claim it. And my daddy said, no. And so then, and my grandfather married another lady. Her name was Euphemia? Euphemia, I think it was.
So after Apolina died, he married
No, he left her.
He left her. Oh.
Yes, yeah, and actually, I think if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I was brought up. Remember, my brother Gilbert that died.
Yes.
Was almost 6 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents had stopped having children.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time I came, just about everybody, it was just Carlos, Gilbert and I. But then Gilbert went to the Marines, and then Carlos, he had married, so it was just me. They were left. All the others were much older. And so, they would start talking about something that I should know, and they would send me away, And because my daughter says, Mom, how come you didn't know? I said, because I just, they would just tell me, oh, that's not something you need to know. No, you just go on, I said, so here I am. A lot of these things I do not know as far as that. Now, Dad would sit around and talk to us about his family and things like that. And like I said, he took us over there. So I was fortunate to get to see it,
Did you know how the factory was created? And I just have an assumption, but that because Apollonia was of Native American descent, or of Native descent, she had because back then it was the Victorian era, women had a dowry and they would marry, and then the husband would get the dowry. Did he marry into money, or did she marry into money, or was she brought into a missionary?
I don't know who had the money. All I know was that my grandfather, and I don't know, did you get the picture of all the children, how they were dressed?
Yes, beautiful.
Very, very proper. That's the way they were. Now, I don't know how my dad remember he was 8,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I don't know how he came into money, or maybe his ancestors had the money.
Mm-hmm.
But I know he was a man of money and power, in Montemorelos,
Yes, especially if you took a photograph. Photographs are considered vain in the Victorian era, because I study history, and so to have photographic evidence of your existence means you are a person of means.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And now for my daddy being 8,
mm-hmm.
he was very educated.
I hear that.
He was, oh my God. That he taught me, he would sit me down every afternoon. I hated it, but I had to sit down, He was so nice, And he would teach me Spanish, how to write and read. Well, when I graduated from college, I think it was the second year, I was approached by the superintendent. And he said, I need a bilingual teacher immediately. Are you certified? I said, no, I just graduated. I'm about to start on my master's. And he just looked at me and he said, would you come to my office tomorrow? I said, yeah, why not? The superintendent asking you to go. So I went. And he said, I need a certified teacher in your school. And would you like to be certified? I said, I told you I do not intend to go back, for bilingual education, He says, no. Would you like to be certified? I said, of course. Okay. Sit down, write a letter in English, and then translate it in Spanish. But no problem, because it's what I had been doing, with my dad. And so I wrote it in English, and he brought another Hispanic teacher in, and he says, translate it in Spanish to, I don't even forget who it was. So I did, and because that's what my dad used to do. He would give me whatever it was in English or in Spanish, and I had to do the opposite. And so, just verbatim, I gave it to him. And so the girl says, it's correct. Oh, and then he asked me some other questions. And he says, okay, you'll get your certification in a week or so. I did, Celeste, I did. So I did not go to the 2 years of college, you know. I know. And I owe that to my father, you know, because but he taught me the correct Spanish, to write it, to read it, you know, and so then I remember as I was growing up, people would come in line and stand in line, and my dad will read their letters in English, and then he will tell them in Spanish everything that it said, you know. It was just amazing, you know, the way he was. Now I think I was so afraid of him, yet he never spanked me. All he had to do was give me a little look, you know, like that, and there it was, you know. Yes, Dad, you know. He wouldn't, because I was the youngest. I couldn't go anywhere. He had dresses galore coming out of, everywhere. And if he didn't want me to go somewhere, he would get lost because I could not leave. I don't know. I had the understanding that I couldn't leave unless I got permission from that. Now I think about it. Isn't that something? I became a teacher because I could only become a nurse or a teacher because those were decent positions to him. You know, oh my God. And now I think I could have done more in here. I just, whatever his words was, that's what it was. And Mother would say, I can't believe that I'm here with you all. And he walks in and you all just stand up. And yet I don't remember him, you know. He was very strict, but not an abusive person. Just mucho respeto, eso sí.
What were some things he would tell you that you remember him saying all the time?
Oh, well, like to go to school. Not just to be able to support myself, and so that I wouldn't have to depend on any man to tell me, well, if it weren't for me, you would be nothing. You would be nobody, you know. He says, but then at the other hand, you marry a nice person, and that person, God forbid, becomes disabled. You can carry it because it's not his fault. You know, see what I mean? In other words, you need to become educated. Now, if you don't have to work, more power to you. But you always have that to fall on. Nobody can take it away from you, you know. And he was right. And he would say, I do not care if you get down the stage and the justice of the peace is there waiting, exaggerating, you know, and you want to get married. But get married with my name, not somebody else's last name. I always remember that, you know, always. And and what was another thing? You are not more than anybody, but you are not less than anybody. And I always have had that I'm elbow to elbow. I don't care if you're black, purple, white, or whatever. You are not more than I am. But I am not more than you. You abuse me, I won't stand there and take it, you know. But I have respect for you too, you know, and you know, things like that. And I see my children like that, you know, very independent, you know, very in their own way, you know. It's just and we were nine of us. Your grandfather, he died so young. Great grandfather, ¿verdad? That would be your great grandfather.
Yes.
My brother. Yes. Richard looks just like him.
I have to take another look at Richard.
I'm serious. Oh my God! I have a picture that I want to take it to him. He is and there's that one that they showed you too. I forgot who sent it. I think from Florida.
Raúl. Yeah.
Gilito. I don't know if he sent it to you or not.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, he's and then the one that Raul sent too. Donde está Carlos and Charlie and Manuel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that face is just amazing, amazing. I've always told him that, Richard, that he looks just like my brother, just like my brother. Oh my God! And you tell me about yourself.
Myself, I am a self-proclaimed jack of all trades. I am a enthusiastic mother, very hands-on. I pride myself in being very compassionate and empathetic, and I'm still kind of trying to figure out how my skill set can be used to be monetary. And so right now with COVID, I am working with Uber Eats, and this is my new passion project, is learning about my family background. It's giving me a sense of, it's helping me make peace with my grandfather's passing, and helping me with my identity. I didn't realize I had an identity crisis until recently. That I was like, well, I'm not like a lot of my family members. I don't look like a lot of my family members. And the more, that's why I keep asking about my native ancestry, because I look more like her. I showed a picture to somebody today, and they're like, oh my gosh, you look just like her. And I was like, I know, it's so weird. Someone that finally looks like me. And the more I find out about the Cabrera side, the things I've been ridiculed for my whole life, like I don't like being told what to do.
There you go.
Yeah, I do not like to be told what to do. You will not talk down to me, and no one else is like me. And the more I find about the Cabreras, I'm seeing how my skill set could be utilized and how I can hone in on it and how everyone else has utilized it, because no one has shown me how to use my gifts. I just knew, yeah. I always knew I had gifts, and I never saw them as gifts. I just saw them as, oh, these are things everyone knows how to do. Everyone knows how to talk to people. Everybody knows how to have foresight. I have a really good gift for foresight, and I'm very resourceful. And I don't know anyone else in my immediate family who is like me. And it's just, I've never felt so not alone since I started this project.
Oh, that's wonderful. No, I know. I mean, like I said, that's the way that would, you just. Oh, what was another thing? Always, I could hear him preaching to my brothers and my nephews. You do not stand in line with your hands stretched out. You
right.
Work for it.
Yes.
You work, and they all work, and he paid them well.
Mm-hmm.
But he says, no, when you step into my bakery, you're not my grandson. You're not my son.
Mm-hmm.
And you respect me and you respect my customers. If you're in a bad mood, just turn around and go home. But don't expect to go to the movies. That was the only thing that we could do, So, everybody, yes, sir, yeah, sí, papá, todo. Sí, abuelito, because they call him abuelito. Sí, abuelito, lo que usted diga, abuelito. Now, my brother Gilbert, oh my gosh, he was a little bit more rascal. I mean, he was, there's always has to be somebody that knew, the other ones still had the fear, and all that. I'll never forget one day, he was a dancer and a looker. Oh, he was so handsome. He always had 4 or 5 girlfriends, and he would tell my mother, Mom, if they come looking for me, tell them that I'm not here. I'm not going to lie and have to go to confession again. No way. No, you handle your problems, Hi, mother. Yes, yeah. Anyway, so there was a big dance going on, and Daddy had told him and Carlos, that he was going home with Mom, and for them to finish baking. It was just a little bit of dough they had to make, but it was going to, conflict with the time he had to be at the dance. So and then Daddy was going to come back and, close up. So he talked my brother Carlos was just the sweetest could be. I mean, oh, you could tell him to do anything and he would do it. Muy buenazo. That was Carlos, the one that was standing in the back.
Yeah.
And so he talked him into making a hole in the back of the yard of the paneria. That is the first paneria, the very first one. Because there he was leasing, and then the second he bought the place. Anyway, and so they I don't know. I guess Daddy came. I don't know. I don't even know we had a phone because that was a long time ago. And so he came. And I remember I was with him. I remember I was always with him because I was the last one. They went here, they went there. There I go. And so Mom went to make coffee. So she opened the back door. And she sees a white bubble in the back, and it had the dirt was at the top of the white bubble. It looked like a person, and she yells, aquí es un monstruo, and so here comes Dad, and he goes with the broom, And of course, he gets close to it, and it was the dough. Well, these crazy boys didn't think that the dough was he had yeast. So what was going to happen? He was going to break. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. And Gilbert already had taken a shower because they had a shower and everything there. And andaba muy perfumado y todo eso. He was already at the dance. So Daddy went to get him. No te digo. Ay, Dios santo. I'll never forget that. And Mother used to say, I didn't know if to laugh or what. But can you remember? So he was always doing little things like that. No, not little things. They were big things, but like a Gilbert. And he says, but that was just one thing. No, Gilbert, there were so many of them, But no, very independent, very, very, in other words, you don't let anybody put you down. And up to today, I'm like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can sweep the floor with me. You can do whatever you want to. Just don't abuse me,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband knows that, I mean, I respect him fully. But, but you respect me, I've always told him, if that's gone, to me, everything's gone. Don't you think so?
Absolutely.
From anything, not even your children, Yeah.
Not to make a joke about marriage, but I'm going to make a joke about marriage, yeah. So I've been divorced once, and we have this joke that, like, I can't keep a significant other, I can't keep a spouse because I do not like being bossed around because I'm very soft-spoken and I'm very cariñoso, and people like to push me around, and I'm not to be pushed around.
But mijita, let that be known.
Mm-hmm.
Let that be known at the very beginning of your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Let that be known. I did that.
Okay.
I did that, and I did what I said. What my father had told me. I can take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was educated.
Mm-hmm.
I do not have to depend on, hands out, hand me downs or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I did.
Yeah, you earned respect.
I did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and I want my last name back, and I paid for the divorce. You should have seen him in court, Thea. He couldn't believe it. I said, I'm educated, like you said, and I'm like, I'm gonna pay for my own stuff. And I told him after years, I said, you keep yelling at me like that. And one day I said, okay, last argument, packed everything up that fit in my car. And it's a good thing we didn't have children or anything. I separated everything. I paid for all the bills. I got my own place. And I didn't call him until it was time for the papers to be processed. And he was so shocked. And then when I saw him in court, I can't believe, he looked at me when the judge asked, oh, and so all you're asking is for nothing. I didn't want anything from him. I just wanted my last name changed back. And the look in his eyes was priceless.
Oh, But you know what? He wasn't meant to be, Mamita.
I
For
feel
you.
like yes, and I just wish I would have been like you and been more forthcoming about my expectations. But I was so young, and I didn't think that I had to explain myself. But now I know better.
Yeah, yeah. No, and I remember telling him, you lay a hand on me, you'll either be standing or you'll never see me again. In other words, because something bad will happen to you. Hear him? No, seriously, I said,
Yes.
and my father never laid a hand on me, so or even cussed at me. So why should I take it from anybody else? I mean, that's.
Oh my goodness, that's literally something I would say verbatim. I would literally say that. I do not get spoken like that by my family, and I'm not going to take it for, I just see myself 10 years ago saying the exact same thing.
Yeah, yeah. But and he was like, hey, I know where you are and where you're set, and he knew I meant it.
Yeah.
And so, and we've had our ups and downs, but nothing to the point. You know what has been a blessing to us too? See, Sammy was not born special needs. He was 8 months when he suffered bronchial pneumonia, and his fever went up to 107 twice. He almost died. And due to that, he had brain damage. So he has a lot of tendencies that are very normal. It affected his speech. It affected his numbers. He reads very well. He has very good common sense. He's very good with mechanical things, And so, and I, because of him, I went ahead and, I had gotten, mind you, it's funny how God works in mysterious ways. I was dating this other boy from the valley, and I graduated, and he was graduating in at the end of the summer. So I went back, and Dad says, "Oh, you're going to go for your master's?" I said, "No. I am going to go for special ed." That's what I said. Special ed. Why special ed? I said, I don't know. I just want to go, But it was because he was there. Well, lo and behold, I meet Sam June. I started in May, and he's just amazing. But what I'm saying, in here, I become certified and all that. And then look, our son. So I had the knowledge and to help him, and that's why I say God works in mysterious ways.
That's a miracle. And that was actually a question I was going to ask you. Have you ever experienced a miracle? And that in and of itself is serendipitous of a miracle.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. And so I, because Roxy, our daughter, she's very gifted. I mean, she's talented. Oh gosh, straight A's all the time. Graduated top of the class. At UTMB, with occupational therapist, and now she's working on her doctorate. She decided to go back, and UTMB. It's a computer. You know how they do it, all those things now. Anyway, and so, I mean, I started helping Sammy since the very beginning, the very, very beginning. And it has, he has never stopped learning. Let's put it that way. That's how I see it. Never. He still amazes me every day, And like I said, he has a speech impediment. But of course, we understand everything he says. HEB understands everything he says. He's just amazing. All the customers, sometimes the line, because he's what they call what do you call the courtesy, they're the baggers or the front desk and all that, and so his line will be long, and they say, well, the register is open. No, but we're waiting on Sammy, because he says he's so courteous, and all that. So anyway, God is good. God is good, and it's what you make out of what you have. You know that.
That's what I'm learning this year. Actually, I'm learning that.
You waste your time asking why.
Yes.
You do something about it. And that's what we have done with our son. and he's doing better than a lot of other people,
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of other people, so.
Yeah, can I ask you a few of my questions? I have like maybe 70 questions. I try to compartmentalize them a little bit, but you already touched on a lot. You're so good at storytelling. You have such a way with telling stories I like.
Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh.
About parenting, can you tell me, do you remember what was going through your head when you first saw each of your children when they were born?
Oh my gosh. A miracle.
A miracle.
A miracle. It's just amazing. You can't believe that. It's actually yours,
Mm-hmm. And how did you choose your children's names?
Well, I didn't have any problem with our son because he's the third, and in fact, in my husband's family, I think each of their brothers have like a son, that's named Samuel because of the father, but ours is the only one that's the third, And Roxana, a friend of mine from college, her daughter's name was Roxana, and she had just gotten divorced and she had a little girl. And we had several classes together. We became real close, and I remember hearing that name, and I loved it. And but she named her Roxana, and I named mine Roxana.
Mm-hmm.
Just one N, Okay, so.
Okay, and let's see. Can you tell me what were some of the hardest moments you had with your children when they were growing up?
Stubbornness. That you want them to be, perfect, and they're, really making a place for Sammy. When people get to know you, then you realize the acceptance. I couldn't stand for anybody to think he was less. And I showed that right away, and so it was good. I would visit all his teachers before school started, and told them what I expected instead of them telling me what they expected and how I was going to work with them all the way through. And then Roxy, well, I had no problem. She was a leader all the way through, still is. Now, she did marry very young, but they're doing well, so there's no problem.
Okay.
And but she was always giving us so much choice, so much honors here and honors there, and yet at the same time we worked with her so she would not look down at Sammy, and it was amazing. It was amazing because I never saw that. Because he would excel in his own way, in his own way. And I think that teacher learned from me some things, because like I would say, no, you give me some homework for him. I don't care if it is just to draw a circle, but you tell me what you expect from that circle, So he can have continuation coming from your classroom to his home, and then from his home to you. And she would look at me and I went to say, where did you go to school? That you didn't get that. So, but otherwise, no, we've been very close to the church. I mean, not day in, day out, but as far as religion and for them to know God and all that. And I'm doing that the same thing with the twins. Because they come over here, because with their work and all that, and my granddaughter was working from home, so it's hard. She has somebody that comes from, I think it's 9 to 2, and then Sam picks them up, and they come here for about a couple of hours. And until she finishes her work.
Mhm.
So she works for USAA.
Oh.
Yeah, here in San Antonio.
So, what advice would you give me about raising children?
Be do not give a punishment, because I was telling my granddaughter that just yesterday, that you're not going to follow through.
Mhm.
Because after so many times, you say it and you don't follow through, you become the joke. You know what I'm saying? These kids are so smart.
Yes.
They are so smart.
Mhm.
And they get to know you, because I don't have any problems with the twins, and they're two.
Mhm.
But no. And when we go into the classroom, I'm not Granny. I'm Miss Divina. They call me. It's so funny. It's so funny. Yeah, but yeah, and if I say we're gonna do something, we're gonna do it.
Yes.
And we stick by the timer.
Yes.
But in other words, don't think of what you're gonna say before you say it.
Okay.
Yeah, before you say it, and on that, you can never bring back the words. Remember that.
Okay.
And there are things that they'll remember. They'll remember.
And I know you told me about how you met your husband, that you were dating somebody else. Can you tell me how? So you broke up with your boyfriend at the time because you saw interest in your current husband, or how did that transfer over happen? And how did he pique your interest? Because you were gorgeous. You still are. I was just like, wow, her name, that face. It all makes sense.
My dad gave me that name.
He did. Oh.
Yeah, because they could, I don't know. I guess Mom had me a change of life, so I guess they couldn't believe her.
Mm-hmm.
Because my brother used to tell me, "You're the oops." I couldn't understand him. Yeah, Malo, you're the oops.
That's me.
I had it made until you came. You just a spoiled brat. Yeah, like he would tell me, he would tell me that Dad was walking by the railroad tracks and that he saw a bundle and picked me up, and and Mother would get so upset with him. Stop telling her anything like that. She's ours.
That's her baby.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh dear. No, it's just so. And here, it's just weird. It's just weird, because I never thought I was going to leave my boyfriend,
Mhm. Mhm.
But I saw Sam, and there was something. Of course, it didn't happen right away, but I kept seeing him,
It's
and all of a
catching your
sudden,
eye.
my dad was very strict,
Okay.
and so remember, I had just graduated. When I graduated, he gave me a car.
Oh,
I couldn't
what kind
believe
of car?
it. A brand new car.
Wow.
And so I introduced him to my boyfriend, the one that I had.
Mhm.
And so, because one thing that my daddy had, I could not, which I could never understand, couldn't bring boys to the house.
Yes.
Because he said he says, I don't want everybody to know my home. He says, you'll be going with one boy and then another boy and another boy. No. When you get serious, you bring that boy to me. So I introduced him to the one I was serious, And so, oh yeah, he even, got to go in my car and all that. And then I met Sam. Oh my gosh. And so I was already working. I started teaching. And Sam wanted to come to my home, because we were getting, I said, you can't. What do you mean I can't? I said, no, my dad won't let me. But you're already, I said, I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. So he insisted, and one day he just showed up. And I'll never forget. Oh my God. And my dad was so upset.
Oh,
He said,
wow.
"That's not the boy you introduced me to."
Oh.
And see, that's what I mean. There he comes another one. And who else is gonna come? Oh my God. I mean, you thought I had done I don't know what, isn't that something?
Yes.
And it took a while, and mother fell in love with Sam. Oh, my mother just adored him, And so with her help, we were able to convince Daddy that I was really serious.
Mhm.
It just, oh my God, it's so funny. It is so funny. But Sam, I love dancing. Sam didn't. He couldn't even dance. That was one thing Mother could never understand. He says, "But you love dance." I said, "I know, but..." So I taught him how to dance. I
Oh.
taught Meme,
Mhm.
your uncle, and I taught Tommy, the one from Florida.
Mhm.
Because the Meme is what, a couple of years younger?
Older.
No, younger. I was older, 1 or 2, and then Tommy also. So they never called me Tia. They would always call me by my first name. And we would go to the dances, and they wanted to dance with me because they could only dance with me. I said, "No, I'll dance with you in the kitchen at home, but not here."
Mhm.
It was so good old lives. My God. So anyway, so I taught Sam how to dance, and then he loved that.
Oh.
And we used to go to a lot of the social dance. We have had a very good life. God has been good to us.
Yes.
Very
And
good. Very blessed.
how would you describe yourself as a child?
I was very spoiled. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
I felt like I had, like the oldest ones, they were all like my parents.
Mhm.
Every Easter I had 5 or 6 baskets because each one would bring me one.
Ooh.
Isn't that something? Oh yeah, but then when I started to grow up, oh, no boy was good enough for me with my brothers. Oh no,
Mhm.
no, so oh gosh, yeah. But it was a good. I had it made. I never suffered for anything. My mama dressed me fit to kill all the time. And it was good. And being that I was the last one, I had
Mhm.
it all.
Yes.
And then they had the bakery by then too. I remember one time one of my teachers told me, Gringa, and she said, "You are different." I said, "What do you mean I'm different?" And she didn't know what to say. And I said, why do you mean? She said, "You dress very well." I said, "But I still eat tacos and flour tortillas and beans.
Mhm.
I'll never leave that or have anything like that." It was so the discrimination was so bad. But again, I didn't take it from anybody.
Mhm.
you know,
Did she said it condescendingly?
kind of, kind of like, wanting to be nice.
Oh, she meant it as a backhanded compliment.
Yes, and I didn't like that.
Mhm.
I did not like that.
Mhm.
You know, and I was always sticking out for somebody.
Oh,
You
I'm
know.
just like you. They tell me I'm nosy. They're like, "You need to mind your business," and I'm like, "Well, I'm right here, so
No.
this is my
Mm-mm.
business."
No. Mm-mm.
I always
No.
tell my cousins, if you see something, you better say something. If you're
Oh,
in a
definitely.
position, to help somebody and it doesn't cost you anything, and especially if there's a child, you stop what you're doing and you help.
Oh yeah. No. No. I said no. Mm-mm. I
Oh, I'm
said
so
no.
proud of the life you lived.
Yeah. No. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. And I'm here because, like, I just joined. Well, I think this will be my second year. A group here in San Antonio. It's San Antonio Women's Club,
Oh.
and you have to be invited by 3 members, and it was mainly white ladies, you know. And so they never invite a Mexicana because that Mexicana, you know, will bring others. And then my neighbor, who is white, she had been inviting me for the past 4 or 5 years, and I would say, no, 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 you know, because I would say, why go there? They don't want you, you know. And then one day I said, wait a minute, I dress better than they do. I'm probably more educated than they are. Why not? So then this other friend of mine was invited too. I said, she says, let's go, let's do it. I said, let's do it. Well, 3 of the ladies sponsor us right away, you know. No, they are the nicest people. She was saying, I was ready to go in and and just not let anybody walk over me. And I said, and they're the nicest people that, you know, and it's because we dress up to kill, you know, when we go in there, because everybody dresses real nice. And so I was sitting saying, when Margot and I are going to go in, they keep looking and see what we're wearing. Isn't that something, you know? And no, they're just really, really nice. They keep on checking on us because, no, we're not meeting. We only meet once. I wish I could take this as a guest one of these days. It's a very, very nice, well, prior to the virus, you know, we would meet once a month for lunch, a luncheon. And it really, really nice, you know, very, very nice history about San Antonio. It socialized mainly, you know. And, but anyway, so I miss that. I really miss that. You know, so I miss it. Yeah.
Well, you make sure you leave in your will that I'm to be indoctrinated into the group.
Oh, I surely will. Yeah, you know that it has a lot of history. Look into it. San Antonio Women's Club.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You'll find it. You can do some research. You know, it's really, 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 really nice. A lot of the people join. In fact, I wanted to bring in my daughter and granddaughter, just for the resume. Mm-hmm. You know, I do not need the resume, so I'm enjoying the socialization. You know, that brings. We have a style show and luncheons and parades and because I'm a member, my little granddaughter can become one of the pages for the Battle of Flowers, you know. Things like that. You know, things like that I open the door to my daughters, you know, and granddaughter and great granddaughter, you know. Things like that. And that to me that's the improvement that one can do to the Hispanic. You know, instead of trying to protest and be equal, get yourself educated, bring yourself up to par, and be a little bit more better than they are. And they know it. They can see it. They can see it. Okay. They can see it, you know. And
that's really good advice.
Yeah, you know, just don't be knowledgeable, you know, contribute, and you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Oh, I hear somebody.
Oh yeah, someone just did a flip off the sofa, trying to get mommy's attention.
Oh yes, I know what you mean. Well, listen, I didn't mean to keep you. We'll continue, Mamita. We'll continue.
Okay.
Tomorrow I'm having like I said, I don't know. I still don't know, and I'm going to talk to my husband, see what he says, but I hate to hurt my daughter.
Of course. But yeah, you give me a call whenever I fit into your schedule, and then we can pick back up, because I love what the information you're giving me is everything and more that I wanted to hear.
Oh, okay, Linda. And I need to tell you a little bit more, you know, my daddy, you know, and that I think that factory stopped because, remember, they took the land away from them.
That's true.
They took everything away, everything. They left them in the street. Mm-hmm. And my daddy built up all of that.
Is it wrong that I want to have a piece of what was supposed to be his?
I know. Well, this is what happened also, Mijita, that when he came back, the brother, I don't even know if half brothers, because I think the lady had, I know he had a girl and a boy. Maybe they had two boys with the other woman, and so they were alive. And so my daddy said, well, why don't we get together and maybe we can do something? But they said, no, we don't have any money. Maybe you can do whatever you can and then give us your share. And mother said, you know what? You don't even know what's going to happen, because they're not going to want to let it loose over there. You don't need it. You didn't have it. Let's just forget it, because you do have to come and share with the other siblings, and they're not going to help you. Mm-hmm. And for you to be going to Mexico like that, something can happen to you,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, no. She says, you do not need anything, nothing. And he didn't,
Mm-hmm.
And so, but the land is there. I don't know what can be done, what. But by now the government has it all.
Mm-hmm.
Because once they caught the guerrillistas and they brought down Pancho Villa and all of that,
mm-hmm.
if the land wasn't claimed or anything, my abuelito was, over here already.
Yes. Yes.
He was probably dead. I don't even know that. But Daddy just wanted to take us to go see it.
To know where y'all came from.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I remember, and they were all asking him questions. ¿Y qué vas a hacer in Spanish? What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I says, oh, nothing. I don't need anything. I just want my family to see where I came from,
I want to see it, too. I want to go and see it. That's why I'm asking so many questions.
Yeah, and it was standing there, when I went, that big building. It's a block. It's a whole block.
Wow.
It's a whole block, but, you've seen them in Mexico. I mean, the
movies,
how it looks like just a wall. And
like,
then
it's a
you go,
hacienda.
Andale. And then you go in, and it's just, like my daddy used to say, he says, but all the pictures, everything was just, I don't even know where they got those pictures, how they came about or what.
Maybe they saved them. Those were the one of the things they saved and they ran.
It's just, there's a mistake I did when my mama died, mijita.
Mm.
It was just so hard. I did not want to go back.
Mm-hmm.
to do their things. And then my daddy was alive, so whatever time I spent, I would spend it with him, because I was already living away. And then when he died, that was another big mistake I made. I never went back for my things, or to see what they had left or anything. So that's why a lot of these pictures that are coming up, I'm surprised, Like a lot of when I was a little girl, I don't have them. They're showing up somewhere, which I'm glad. But like all my albums and my formal dresses and all that, I mean, but that was my mistake. Like I said, they had to clean up. Yeah. I just couldn't stand it, it was just so hard for me.
Yes.
So, but anyway, but I'm glad those pictures are showing up.
Yeah, the way that I see you dressed in those photos is actually how I like to dress now. It's really coincidental.
Really?
All this. Yeah, I know. I'm like I said, I'm kind of odd, and I have this fixation with this era and our history, and
That's good.
Well, I can't wait to hear from you.
I can't wait. I can't really wait to. Isn't this horrible? I would have already gotten in my car and going to see you.
Oh, me too. I would have been on a plane in a day. I would have packed up my baby and got a hotel, and we would have been there.
Oh my God! It's just, but we can't do anything. My husband got me a new car, and my daughter was shocked last night. She says, "Mama, how many miles do you have in your car? I said, got it for my birthday, August 25th. It's not even 1,000 miles. What?
Oh.
I said, where do I go? My HEB and my Costco trips? I cannot even say to church. We used to go to WinStar so often because I love WinStar. I love the slot machines. You know, well, we don't do that anymore. We're about to lose plane tickets because Sammy was going to bowl in Vegas, and so no, it was in Reno, and so we were going to stay. We had booked for 10 days. He was going to do the bowling in 3 days, and we were going to stay a week in Reno. I mean, Lake Tahoe. These friends of ours had a timeshare, and so they love to travel with us. We've been all over the U.S. and Rome and Spain and all that with them. And so they said, hey, let's go to my timeshare. And so we said, okay. So we're going to spend, a week there. It was the first week of March. And in the pandemic, they canceled everything. So I don't know what we're going to do. The way it looks, we're going to lose the tickets because we have to use them by, I think it's the end of January, because that's when we bought them.
I see.
But I'd rather lose them than get sick.
Of course. Will you let me know the second that you will let me come in and spend time with you or whatever you want to do, and I will be there because I want to be there for you and before while we still have you. I want to meet you in person and everything.
Oh, that would be that's what Sam. Even my husband, you're gonna like my husband so much. He's such a good man. But he better not hear me because then he'll take advantage of that.
Yes, I want to meet the twins and
Roxana. Oh yes, Roxana.
Everyone, I want to meet people who have the same mindset and to not feel so alone in the world. And I want to learn from my elders and have some guidance in my life that I didn't necessarily have.
Oh my God!
Years.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh, Mija, she's just set on her own, And like I said, you're gonna go for your doctorate, Mom. I wanted to make sure that my kids were already educated. I was waiting for Ray Samuel to be accepted to medical school. He's already in medical school. Rebecca already got her master's. Rena already got her master's. Now it's my turn. I said, okay. And then she says, I've always wanted, but I never wanted to jeopardize anything. And for me to say, oh, I shouldn't have done this and that, he said, no. And she's working full time. She's head of the physical therapy, department of OTPTs. All the PTs report to her of the place that she's worked. It's a rehab center, and so she full time going to school, but she's something else.
Oh wow! I can learn so much from her and her work-life balance.
What is your major? What did you major in?
I went to trade school and I got my cosmetology license because originally I wanted to be a dermatologist, but then later on I changed my mind. I realized I wanted to counsel children, and then right before COVID happened, I had finally decided what I wanted to do with my life, and I had a plan. It was crazy, Tia. I finally put my child in the private school I wanted to put her in. I finally got I finally found the apartment that I wanted to live in. We got this huge 3-bedroom. It's the size of a house. And I got everything I wanted. I got a really good job at this French restaurant that everyone wanted to work at, and I was going to get a bartending position so that I could have flexible hours to go to school. And I was just about to enroll, and then like a week before I was doing the enrollment process to be re-enrolled. I think I'm a year away from an associate's, and then I was going to go full-time. to, work towards having a master's to get just a counseling degree.
Mhm.
And I wanted to counsel children because I feel that my drive behind that is I love kids, and I've met so many. I don't know what it is about me. I'm a magnet for hurt people, and I meet a lot of children who have been in what do you call it, foster homes. I meet a lot of adults. I don't know what it is. I was like, God will tell me, go sit next to that person in that class. And I'll go and I'll make friends with them, and then, I was a foster child, I was an orphan, and I meet so many orphans and foster children, and I hear about all the psychological trauma they go through, and so I was really inspired by all these people. I was like, well, if they're lucky enough to get in front of somebody, their parents love them enough to put them in front of a counselor, then maybe I could help them. So that's something that I want to pursue in the future.
Yes, do that. And now that you have time, look into it. Look into and to see the university that would even start with a virtual learning right now, a plan.
Mhm.
That could help you. And like you, there you're a single parent. There's a lot of help out there. A lot.
Oh yeah.
Even with this virus, but just don't let too much of a time go by.
Okay.
I know what I'm telling you. You can start working on it right now. Right now. Yeah.
Yes.
You have like look into it. It's too late for you to be enrolling in the fall semester. I mean the spring semester, but you can at least get your thoughts into it.
Yes.
As to what, and a lot of these programs will help you even find a job, that will go along with your hours. And now that everybody's working from home, Amita,
it's even better.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but anyway, see, here I am telling you. No, but
I love it. I love that you have the life experience, especially with your daughter and everyone around you. Your grandson, he's in medical school. Like, you have the experience externally and internally to tell me that. So when I hear it from you, it doesn't upset me. It makes me feel like, you love me and you care, and I can depend on you to give me good advice.
But, this is how my parents would talk to us.
Oh.
Never closing the door. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, there's nothing you cannot do. You, like, what is it? My grandchildren, my great grandchildren, they know that it's a bad word for them to tell me I can't. Now you tell me you need help or you need to show for me to show you, but don't tell me you can't.
Okay.
So they don't say that, So it's amazing, Oh, I can't do that because they would come back. What? So no, I need some help. Can you show me? Yes, I can show you. And then later on, you're going to be showing me, And they smile, like that. So that's what I mean. No, but don't waste time. I'm serious. Don't waste time. Look into it.
Okay.
Look into it because you'll be surprised. Okay.
Okay. First thing tomorrow morning.
Good
night, Tia.
Good night, sweetheart.
You.
Love you too. Good night. Bye-bye.